My name is Melissa Moore. I've written a book called Holy Shit, A Brief History of Swearing. You know these words. You may even have used one or two of them already today. There are 1,000,000 words in the English language, give or take. How did these particular ones become the words that shock and offend us? Have they always had the same power? The origins of these words might seem mysterious to us today because the charge, the power of swear words, is generated by cultural taboos, which have changed over the years in ways that are not obvious. Holy shit starts in ancient Rome, where swear words got their power from sexual taboos, as many of ours do today. The Roman taboos, though, were very different. A manly thing to do, for example, was to threaten another man with iramatio, which is basically oral rape, and a very bad word. Well, the worst insult that you could throw at a Roman was that he practiced cunnilingus. In the Old Testament or Hebrew Bible, the taboos are of course mostly religious, and oaths by God are more important than obscenities. God is fighting a war for supremacy with other Near Eastern gods, and oath-swearing is one of his most powerful weapons. In the Middle Ages and Renaissance, the taboos and thus the swear words are religious. By God's bones, for example, which means almost nothing to us today, was worse in this period than any sexual obscenities, because it was thought to be able to tear apart Christ's physical body as it sits in heaven at the right hand of God. Because the taboos were religious, today's obscene words were not obscene at all, and appeared in places they'd never be seen now. In personal names, in medical texts, and even in translations of the Bible itself. In the Renaissance, the taboos started to switch over and swearing began to look more modern. Fuck, for example, came to replace sard and swive as the direct and eventually shocking word for sex. The Augustan and Victorian eras, the 18th and 19th centuries, were the age of decorum, which paradoxically saw an explosion of obscenity and also a tremendous growth in euphemisms, to the point where in polite society you couldn't even say what to us seems to be a completely inoffensive word like trousers or leg. This led to all kinds of interesting things, including a vogue for botanical pornography and a great fear of the huffle, defined in one 18th century dictionary as a piece of bestiality too filthy for explanation. The 20th century saw the development of racial slurs, as taboos against sex and excrement and on religion grew weaker, and those against essentializing people, defining them by race especially, but also by disability or size, grew stronger. In the 1950s and 60s, comedian Lenny Bruce tried to neutralize swear words by performing routines in which he'd repeat certain ones over and over. The idea was that these would start to sound like mere nonsense words, and that this would rob them of their power. He thought that a world without swear words would be a world without hatred, without sexual hypocrisy, and without violence. After writing this book, I've come to believe pretty much the opposite of Mr. Bruce. Swear words are useful. They are the most powerful words we have to express emotion, whether that emotion is negative or positive. They offer catharsis as a response to pain or to powerful feelings. They cement ties among members of groups in ways that other words cannot. Getting rid of the swear words will not get rid of the hatred, nor of the joy that makes us want to use them. I hope you'll read this book and discover some more of the interesting, funny, even beautiful history of these words.